Hello, my name is Angela Brooks, and I'm the Small Business and Employment Resources Coordinator at St. Louis County Library. Welcome and thank you for joining this virtual program. It is a part of our Small Business and Nonprofit Expo. Names of all attendees will be entered into a drawing for the prize of the day. A link to a survey will appear in the chat at the end of the program, where patrons can also, that complete the survey, enter a raffle to win a $15 Amazon gift card. Winners will be notified by email. This program is a webinar and will be recorded. Microphones are muted and video cameras are turned off. The closed caption function has been enabled for your convenience. Please use the chat or Q&A feature to engage and ask questions, and questions will be answered, if not during, at the end of the presentation. Today, our presentation and discussion is with United Way of Greater St. Louis and the St. Louis Regional Financial Empowerment Coalition. We will learn about their work to help families and future entrepreneurs build their credit, save money, and better manage their finances to reach their dreams. Your presenters today are Karen Helm, representing the St. Louis Regional Financial Empowerment Coalition, and Debbie Irwin, Community Economic Development Director at United Way. Karen and Debbie, thank you all so much for being here.
All right, thank you very much, Angela. It's great to be here. In our session today, we'll be talking about the importance of personal finance education for families and for entrepreneurs. The United Way and the St. Louis Regional Financial Empowerment Coalition are both focused on helping people become more financially savvy. And we have a variety of programs and tools to help people on that journey. This slide shows a high-level overview of some of the things that we'll be talking about today. The top of the slide shows some of the United Way programs that are offered through our agency partners. We couldn't do it without our agencies. The match savings programs, the volunteer financial coaching program, and free tax preparation assistance. And then Karen Helm from Montgomery Bank will also be talking about the St. Louis Regional Financial Empowerment Coalition and the initiatives that the coalition offers. United Way is also part of the coalition and helps stand up the coalition by providing some backbone functions related to financial management and some in-kind staff assistance for the coalition. So we look forward to sharing information with you today and talking about these initiatives. So thanks to St. Louis County Library for inviting us to participate in this nonprofit Small Business Expo. We are both glad to be here. So before we get started in talking about the programs, we'll just talk a little bit about the need for financial education and kind of where we are as a nation and as a community related to financial education, financial capability, we call it sometimes, and maybe why we might need financial education. So these are some statistics from the Prosperity Now asset scorecard. So community need, 13% of Missourians are at or below the poverty level. So really struggling to get by. 47.4% of Missourians don't have enough savings to live for 3 months, just at a very basic level. If something were to happen, we have a lot of families that if they had an unexpected expense would really have a hard time. And then only 51.6% of Missouri credit unions have good credit. So there's a lot of folks that have kind of what we call subprime credit, which just makes it more expensive to live and pay bills, get insurance, things like that. So kind of a need there to focus on credit and building credit. And then about 23.1% of households are considered what we call unbanked or underbanked, meaning they don't have a strong relationship with a mainstream financial institution, meaning a bank or a credit union. So they might be using payday lenders or check cashers money orders to conduct kind of routine financial transactions, which is very expensive and makes it difficult to save. So there is a need for more financial education in the community. And both the Coalition and United Way are working toward addressing some of those needs. This slide talks a little bit more about some statistics for the St. Louis metro region. We don't want to overwhelm you with statistics, but just kind of demonstrate that there is definitely a need for more financial education and programs focused on building assets, like us building a small business. Starting a small business would be an example of creating an asset. But if you look at the unbanked numbers, again, for the St. Louis metro area, overall, we have about 23% of households who don't have a strong relationship with a financial institution. And then compared to, by race, when you kind of break things down by race, you can also see some disparities. So up to 47% of African-American families may not have a strong relationship with a financial institution. And then if you look at like homeownership rates, 69% of people in the St. Louis metro area are homeowners. But when you break it down by race, you see some disparities. And there are many historical reasons related to redlining and discrimination, and even federal policy about mortgages, FHA loans, and VA loans. African Americans were excluded from getting those loans, after World War II and even before. And so there's lots of reasons why we've ended up in this situation, but we call that the racial wealth gap, and consider that an important thing to try to address. It kind of gives some more urgency around the issue. Right. And then this is a map that shows credit scores. We talked about credit being really important to have good credit, to be able to get a better interest rate, to pay lower insurance rates. This is a map by zip code that shows households with credit scores below 600. And you can see the red areas show higher percentages of families with lower credit scores. And then the blue and green areas show higher average credit scores for families. So, another kind of reason to focus on building credit, financial education, just to help families be more successful financially. And these are some of the best practices that the Administration for Children and Families put out some years ago, related to some best practices. So getting financial education, financial coaching, whether that's through a financial advisor or through a nonprofit-based program, financial coaching, counseling, credit counseling, and then other programs to help people build assets like homeownership programs, et cetera. So this is just an example of kind of the variety of approaches that can be taken to help people build their credit, increase their financial knowledge, et cetera. So when you focus on things, it helps families improve their economic status, increase their net worth, gain knowledge and skills to help just improve their lives. And we've seen that over and over in the programs that we offer, that education and access to programs that help people with saving, starting a business, things like that really do make a difference in people's lives. Also, we found that research has found that having more assets, it just enables you to handle financial emergencies, have higher confidence and expectations for the future. And then children in families that have higher assets are more likely to graduate from college. All right, I am going to turn the program over now to my colleague, Karen Helm with Montgomery Bank. And we're going to focus now on the St. Louis Regional Financial Empowerment Coalition. And Karen is going to tell us more about that.
Good morning, everyone. As said before, I'm Karen Helm with Montgomery Bank. And with the St. Louis Regional Financial Empowerment Coalition, We have a mission statement, as you can see, of promoting equitable opportunities for financial health to build wealth and economic prosperity. And we focus, of course, on the greater St. Louis metropolitan area. Our tagline is to promote financial health throughout this region. And excuse me. And our impact statement is to help families in the region have healthy financial behaviors and build assets for a stable future. Next slide, please. If there's a possibility, can you change the view of the slides so that it's just the slides? I have my own notes in front of me, and so I won't need to read it, and that way the people can get a better picture of what's on the slide. With who we are, the slides are gone. I'm sorry. They can only see the names of the 4 people that are in the meeting. That the slides are gone. Okay, so while we're working on resharing, I'll go on with the St. Louis Regional Financial Empowerment Coalition mission as far as who we are. The coalition is a diverse group of community stakeholders that include financial institutions, city governments, not-for-profit agencies, and community organizations such as libraries, churches, and schools. And we are dedicated to increasing the family self-sufficiency and prosperity through financial education and asset building. We hold a lot of events throughout the year that assist us in accomplishing that goal. Also, we facilitate and align stakeholders to create system-level change, economic mobility for low-wealth households, and long-term economic security among all households. Next slide, please. We do this through a series of programs. Some of the programs and community education campaigns we have are the Bank on Save Up, which allows someone to open a savings or checking account for as little as $20 with no fees attached to either of the account. It is an account for people who have previously had challenges with financial institutions. It allows you to get a fresh start. To get a bank on account not only allows you to have a relationship with a financial institution, but it's a no fee attached to that account. So as we go through that, we also have the entire month of April with activities and events that allow you to get MoneySmart. April is MoneySmart month for the coalition, and this will be our 10th year that focuses on a lot of activities that will assist you in getting from where you are to where you'd like to be financially. Homeownership month in June is a series of events and activities that allow you to connect with anyone available regarding getting your directive of having your own home. We not only have realtors that are available for you, that are available to assist you, but we have appraisers, information from what it takes to get a home mortgage, the cost of your home, getting your credit ready to prepare you for home ownership. Any type of class that you would need regarding home ownership, we will have for you during the month of June. Credit Awareness Month is October. And during that month, we teach you how to get better credit, not only to improve your credit score, but if you've never had credit in your name, how to obtain a sustained and build good credit and a good credit score. Your credit score, whether or not you realize it, is tied to every aspect of your life, not just interest rates and how they affect you as far as how much money you can or cannot borrow, your automobile or homeowner's insurance, any type of insurance that you would undertake. Sometimes it depends on your employment and where you work or are allowed to work. These types of things are affected by your credit score. Financial education mini grants. For other organizations, for instance, a church or a not-for-profit, we can receive a financial, or you can obtain a financial education mini grant to subsidize or assist in you teaching a financial literacy course to your constituents on any level. Next slide, please. With our Bank On Save Up initiative, we have a conglomerate of banks and credit unions that will allow you to come in and open an account with no fees attached for, as I said, a minimum of as little as $20. Those accounts are to help to assist you in establishing how you would like to have your financial future proceed. If you haven't been able to maintain an account with a financial institution, as stated before, it could cost you a significant amount of money over a lifetime of check cashing institutions or payday lending institutions. Those types of institutions are on a percentage base of what you have as to what they take in order to utilize their services. With the financial institution account, it not only allows you a low to moderate income access account, we don't charge fees for you using it, and we don't charge fees for you taking opportunities from it. It also allows you to build a relationship with a bank to where you can start with a checking or savings account, go into an automobile loan from them, and on to home ownership. Next slide, please. As I stated, this is our 10th anniversary for MoneySmart Month. We've been doing this program for 10 years. It started out as MoneySmart Week. It is an initiative that I believe had come or started in Kansas City, Missouri. And we've gone on with this initiative in St. Louis for over 10 years. Our large kickoff event used to be the zoo. We've had other events throughout the city. We've had a life-size Monopoly game, a lot of different things that are associated with the kickoff for the month. This year will be a women's forum for the kickoff in March that will start off MoneySmart Month. And as we continue through the year, the St. Louis Regional Financial Empowerment will have other activities in February and March and in April, January, February, and March leading up to April. We will also continue after April with May, leading up to the next slide, please, Homeownership Month in June. Next slide, please. With the previous slide, I'm sorry. With Homeownership Month in June, we prepare you for home ownership. It depends on where you are on your steps in that journey. We'd like to take you from the beginning until the end and then help you or assist you with information on what happens after you purchase your home. But home ownership is a significant part of stabilizing wealth to transfer it to generations that come behind you. In our low to moderate income communities, many do not assume that they can have a home. You'd be surprised at how close to home ownership you actually are. We'd like to assist you with that journey and help you with the steps in order to proceed from where you are to realizing it within just a few years. Next slide, please. One of the significant parts of home ownership is Credit Awareness Month, which doesn't happen until October, but even after June, there are steps that you can prepare for in July, August, and September that will assist you in getting credit worthy so that you can make those major purchases. And those lifetime purchases are significant to many. And most people just assume that they won't be able to do something. You'd be surprised at what you can do with a little help from a friend. And with the St. Louis Regional Financial Empowerment Coalition, there is someone within that organization that can assist you from no matter where you are or what you've been through to where you'd like to be. Next slide. Okay. People with good credit save an average of over $200,000 over their lifetime. This is a statistic from the Credit Builders Alliance Association. It is expensive to have bad credit, not just because you pay higher in fees, but because of the missed opportunities that you will never be able to do with poor credit. This is the conclusion of my presentation. And with this credit fact, I'd like to now turn it back over to Debbie. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Karen. And thanks to our library hosts for facilitating the PowerPoint. I apologize for the previous glitches, but it looks like we're back on track. Next slide, please. All right, now we're going to talk about the United Way Financial Stability Initiative programs. And we have some basic goals of increasing financial literacy and education, increasing income, building saving, and gaining and sustaining assets. These are special programs that we're able to offer thanks to the donation of specific funders and granting organizations. And we're going to talk about some of those programs today. Next slide. Okay, and I will tie it into small business development as well. So we have several match savings programs that we offer in partnership with our nonprofit agencies. We have a match savings program for youth, adults, and then for families, the asset program. We also have a volunteer financial coaching program. So we help recruit and train volunteers to be financial coaches and to help some of our savers to achieve their goals, and then also help support free tax preparation. So some of you may be familiar with that. I know many of our library partners actually host free tax preparation, and where volunteers come in and help families prepare their taxes at no cost. Next slide. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about one of our match savings programs and what goes into a match savings program. This particular program does help individuals save for several assets. So one would be home ownership. Karen talked about home ownership. So one of the things that can be saved for in this program is home ownership, also small business development and education, and among some other things. But the basic components of the program are financial education. So the program participants complete about 10 hours of financial education, everything from basic banking, saving, credit, how to get out of debt, insurance, contracts, things like that. And then there's also a budget and credit counseling session. So every participant that is involved with the individual development account program, which we also call IDA, does a one-on-one session with their financial coach at our partner agency and looks at their credit, looks at a budget, looks at their cash flow, talks about how to increase income and decrease expenses if needed. And then also part of this program is what we call asset-specific education. So for example, in starting a business, you might be required to take certain classes. So, how to start a business 101, how to complete a business plan, et cetera. And we work with area partners to help our savers complete that part of the education requirement as well. There's a special savings account that is opened, and participants save over time, for example, 12 to 24 months while they build their credit. And then after completing all program requirements, participants earn a match. So if you save $1, you get matched with $2, for example. So you'd have a total of $3 to invest in education, for that business startup, or for home purchase. Next slide. Okay, and again, these are the eligible uses for the programs. It is a program that's offered through a handful of partner agencies, and savers have used their match money for buying their first home, for example, starting a business, purchasing a vehicle to have reliable transportation to work, for example, and then in some cases for home repair. So kind of maintaining one's asset in terms of critical home repairs that might not be affordable otherwise. All right, next slide. Okay, income eligibility for the program is 200% of the federal poverty level. And for an example, that would be $53,000 for a family of 4. Other requirements include having less than $10,000 in assets excluding a car and a home. For example, if someone had, a large amount of money in a retirement account or had a second home or rental property, they would not qualify for the program. So we're really looking to assist families that need to build wealth and would like some assistance in terms of accomplishing their goals and dreams. Next slide. Okay. So some other resources, and we do use this curriculum for many of the programs, both with the Coalition and with the United Way Financial Stability programs. The FDIC offers a free curriculum for adults and for small businesses. And that can be found on the FDIC website. If you just Google FDIC MoneySmart, you should be able to find the link. There's a self-study game-based curriculum for adults that has just come out. And then the small business curriculum is also very well respected and would be available both for an individual to review or as a curriculum that could be taught in a group setting. So FDIC, if people aren't familiar, is one of the bank regulators, but they are considered kind of a quasi-government entity and have been providing this free and high quality curriculum for many years. So this is something to consider if you're looking for more information about financial education or small business startup information. Next slide. This is an example of some of the modules that are part of the MoneySmart curriculum for adults. So about money values, income and expenses, so budgeting basically, information about banking and how to best utilize bank accounts, saving, so tips on saving, methods for saving, basics about borrowing money, so loans, and then also modules on credit reports and scores. So how to read a credit report, how to build your credit score, et cetera. This is just an example of some of the material that's covered in the MoneySmart curriculum. Next slide. This is a sample of some of the small business curriculum that is offered through the FDIC. For example, just basic planning for a small business, banking services for small business, the importance of small business credit, insurance options, and then managing cash flow. Next slide. All right, so for more information, this is the website for the St. Louis Regional Financial Empowerment Coalition. On the resources tab, you can find many links for trusted third-party resources around basic personal finance, as well as links for local agencies that may be able to offer assistance through their various nonprofit programs. That concludes our presentation for today. If you all are interested in following up or have questions, I believe that the library will put our emails in the chat, and you'd be more than welcome to follow up with any questions. All right, thank you very much. Hopefully this was helpful. And and we've got another note in the chat about setting up an appointment with a librarian, also a great resource.
I wanted to make sure if anyone else has any questions, we can answer at this time. Debbie, what would be the first step to getting started? Would it be for someone to email you or?
Yeah, if people are interested in, say, a small business IDA, they could email me. We don't have accounts that are ready to go right now, but I think in early 2022, our program partners will be starting that program up again. So if we had some small business owners that were interested in the individual development account program to save money for a business startup, they could definitely reach out to me and I can connect them with the right agency or even talk to them about the program.
Great,
Yep.
thank
Yeah,
you.
and if people have questions about the coalition, they can email info@moneysmartstlouis.org. They could also follow up directly with Karen. Maybe we can put Karen's email in the chat as well. She's representing the coalition today.
I believe it's there. If
Okay.
I'm not mistaken, I thought that was included in the chat, yours and mine.
Oh, yes, it is. Thank you, Karen.
Okay,
I see it.
yes, no
Very
problem.
good.
I thought that was an excellent touch. Thank you, Angela, for putting that, or Jennifer for putting that in.
You're quite welcome, and thank you all, Karen and Debbie, for your presentation. Very informative. I know a lot of information was shared that many people need and may not have. And to our patrons, thank you so much for attending today. We have St. Louis County Library has many resources and services to you with starting and managing a small business or a nonprofit. There is a link in the chat to, if you'd like to follow up with the librarian, to book, to help with research, utilize our small business databases, et cetera. You can book a librarian. Also, a library card is an entrepreneur's most essential tool. So if you don't have a library card, you can sign up for one using the link, and we will mail you a library card. And this is our nonprofit, Small Business and Nonprofit Expo. By completing the survey, there's a link in the chat. You can enter for a chance to win a $15 Amazon gift card. So we think $15. Yes, Amazon gift card. So we, Debbie and Karen, I'll do another call for questions in case anyone had something that came to mind. There is a question about sharing the PowerPoint.
See that question.
Yeah, I think we can send out a PDF copy.
Okay, if you send one to me, yes, I can definitely make sure that our patrons receive it. Well, I don't see any other questions. So thank you all for joining this program and for your participation in our Small Business